So the intercooler on this truck looks like it took a rock right here. So got this tiny little hole. Let me see if I can weld or solder or braze shut here. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because it's covered in goobers and oil. So gotta get this thing clean first. All right, you can see after it's cleaned up, got that nice little hole right here. So this is the aluminum brazing kind of rod here. Low temperature, and generally you're supposed to heat up whatever surface you're applying it to and then push this against it, and it'll just kind of stick to it like a really good glue. But I never used it on pretty much anything, so let's see how it goes. Got the aluminum brazing rod. We got this kind of brazed together. Let it sit up and cool down for a little bit, and then I can straighten out some of these fins and spray paint this part of it black, kind of blend it in so it's not so kind of charred looking. You got the fins all straightened up here, best as it's gonna get. I'm gonna do a test here and start the truck, do a brake boost it, and see if I can get this thing to pop. Well, I did a little brake stand on here to get some boost to build it up on the intercooler, and apparently I was doing a pretty good sized burnout. Yeah, it's probably not going to come out. So I need to charge up the air conditioning system for this truck, since we had to open it up here when we had to take that radiator out. So we got the high side right here, the low side is behind the intake mat, the air filter over here. And so the easiest way to take that plastic cover off. So I already got it vacuumed out. Ran this for a few minutes. This thing's kind of loud. You don't want to hear that. Works pretty well. It's just a little cheap thing from Harbor Freight. So we got this yellow fitting put on here, attach a vacuum line to it, and it pulls vacuum. It pulls vacuum pretty well. So right now we're at somewhere around 25-ish. So it'll work. We're gonna check this in a few minutes and see if it's still there. If it's still there, then we're gonna charge it up. So I had vacuum on this for a few minutes, sucking everything out. So we're gonna add a can of oil and then a can of Freon until we get this thing charged up. Well, today should be about the last day to work on this truck, replacing the tire pressure sensors. Two of these don't work, front driver's side, and then this one has no readings on the tire pressure sensor scanner. This is about the first generation of the Ford tire pressure sensors. So instead of a valve type tire pressure sensor like most vehicles are going to have now, it's going to be a band clamp type sensor. This is going to be basically a giant hose clamp that goes around the whole wheel and clamps a sensor on to the wheel itself. And then it's just a requirement to take the tire and dismount it to get those tire pressure sensors out, where the new ones are a lot easier. You just push down on here and replace that, and you don't have to rebalance the tire at all. So that's the new project for today. We got the wheel off the truck, and we're going to put on the tire machine here and break the bead, and on both sides so we can get this tire halfway dismounted and get this band tire pressure sensor put in. Alright, I got this partially dismounted so I can get this taken care of without having to completely remove it off the wheel. Might be a little bit easier taking it completely off. It wouldn't take much more time, but I just don't want to do it. So this is a tire pressure sensor, the valve stem type, that I tried putting it in place initially because it's much easier, about the same price, but this one does not sync up to the truck. It does read on the tire pressure scanner. It just doesn't want to do anything with the truck. Truck doesn't recognize it. But it does recognize these original Ford ones. So even though they're the same frequency, there's something a little bit different about it. But anyways, so now we got to take this off, and then I'll need to put this band around here, and it goes through this little bracket. It snaps in place, and then there's a little clip that locks it in place. So let's get that taken care of and be right back. Alright, now I got the old tire pressure sensor out, just regular valve stem installed. And I'm going to get this band clamp put on here. So this is just got a double-sided tape that's going to go 180 degrees off of here. Let's if I can rotate this wheel with one hand. Okay, 180 degrees off of here. You can see the original factory adhesive for the tire pressure sensor that doesn't exist anymore. So this has a marking on it, says locate this edge parallel to outside rim flange. So this is going to be facing that way, and I'm just going to put the hose clamp on it, take double-sided tape off, stick it on, and mount the tire. Alright, now I got this band clamp sensor put back on, the factory the service kit here, and that was service kit TPMS 10, and it ends with a G, as that this is a 20-inch wheel. Pretty easy to put on, and just gotta mount the tire. That's it. Well, like usual, nothing can ever go right on this truck. So at some point when I was putting it on, the tire machine over there, one of those rim clamps bit into the wheel weights and just pulled them right off. So I tried getting the tire as close as I could to the original spot, but obviously it's not going to do anything if the weights aren't attached to it anymore. So I got to figure out a way. I can either just kind of glue these back on, put some more double-sided tape or something on there, or rebalance it on the balancer. Actually, rebalancing it would be the best option. I got to figure out something. I'm going to train the tire pressure sensors here on the truck. So we're going to train the sensor. It says train left front tire. Up here. Just do one at a time. And training is complete.